to the Israelites, and all the things that's happening to us today are a result of us breaking the laws that God gave us, what would be the common sense, the logical thing to do for us to get out of this situation?
That's what he said.
Come back to his laws, right? Because think about this. Y'all, the Bible gives us in the book of Leviticus chapter 23, God gave us, that's what we don't understand, is that we have a heritage. Our heritage is not the white man's heritage. You know what I'm saying? If the white man took away all his holidays that they celebrate on the calendar, what would we celebrate? We wouldn't have nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? We just got through celebrating Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day was a celebration of a Greek goddess. You know what I'm saying? And it's in the Bible, but Mother's Day is a celebration of a Greek goddess. What was the first commandment God gave us? Does anybody know?
Honor thy mother and father.
No, that's one of them though, but get it right quick. Watch this. Read it.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
That's the first commandment God gave us. When we celebrate Mother's Day, that's the worship of a Greek goddess. Christmas, that's the celebration of the winter solstice. Easter, that's the celebration of a fertility god. God told us don't have no other gods before him, but every holiday that we celebrate is idolatry.
And the sad part about it, with the holidays, when you talk to a lot of people that keep them, they'll tell you, I know it's pagan. I know it's a pagan tradition, but they keep it anyway. If you know it's pagan, meaning it's against God, and you're a Bible believer, why would you celebrate another God when God said you should have no other God before me? You know what I'm saying? And that's where the thing is, we cleaving, like I was saying earlier, because we lost what God gave us, we cleaving on to anything that we can. You know what I'm saying? Like Thanksgiving is a celebration of the murder of our people. You know what I'm saying? Like the Native Americans were dark-skinned people in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? They were our people, and they got slaughtered, and they do a celebration for it. It's like you got, let's say, this worldly talking, right? But you in a game. Somebody shoot your gang, or somebody kill your family member, somebody kill your brother, right? And they celebrate them killing their brother, and you celebrate the same day, but you say, oh, I'm not celebrating for the same reason they celebrating it. I'm celebrating because they celebrating, but not for the same reason they celebrating. It don't make sense, you know what I'm saying? But that's what our people are doing when God actually gave us he gave us holidays to celebrate. We got more holidays, God gave us more holidays to celebrate than what they have. But we don't know the Bible enough to go into it and celebrate the Bible, right? Like coming up right now, we got Pentecost set up, right? And a lot of people go to the Pentecostal church, but it's not going to be one Pentecostal church in Lubbock that celebrates Pentecost. How does that make sense? They celebrate Easter, they celebrate Brother and Sister Day, all kind of days they celebrate. But God got a whole holiday called Pentecost, and the Pentecostal church don't keep it.
Right.
Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. And it's because our people don't truly understand what the Bible is telling us, right? Because most people, y'all probably know it, give me Revelation 1. This is where the issue, because like a lot of people, we'll read the scripture to them, and they'll say, we already know that, right? But it don't matter. Like, if it's written in the Bible, it matters, right? If you think God took time out to have a prophet write it in there if it don't matter? You know what I'm saying? Read that.
The book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 14.
Read 1 and 1 real quick.
Verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
Revelation. What does the word revelation mean? To reveal, right? So this is the revealing of Jesus Christ. This whole chapter, right? Jump to 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
It said his head and his hairs were white like wool. Who on the earth has hair like wool? What race of people has hair like a sheep wool? We do. What about the image of Jesus Christ that they give us? Does he have hair like sheep wool? No, that don't make sense, right? And it says white, like for elder right here with the white hair. Christ. This is 63 years after Christ walked the earth. John is on Patmos. So Christ on the earthly form would be an older man. So that's why his hair was white and woolly, right? And he says his head and his hairs were white like wool. Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
It says his eyes were as a flame of fire. What was Christ's first miracle? Anybody know Christ's first miracle? He turned water into wine at a wedding. You think he didn't drink none? Christ drank wine. It's not a sin to drink, it's a sin to get drunk. So Christ drank wine, so it says his eyes are going to be red in wine. Hold on, give me Genesis 49:12. Go to the precepts, because that's what we teach the Bible. That when somebody tells you something about the Bible, they got to be able to prove it precept upon precept. It shouldn't be one scripture, I go to this one scripture and I prove my whole point. No, it got to say it somewhere else where the Bible validates itself, right? So it says his eyes are going to be red like fire. Read that.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine.
Right, this is all the way back in Genesis with Moses. He said Christ, when he comes, his eyes are going to be red with wine. He turned water into wine at a wedding. They called him a wine bibber, right? So Christ's eyes was red because he drank wine in moderation. Go back, read it again.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Right, so it's a woolly-haired man. Go ahead.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So we got a woolly-haired man with red eyes. Go ahead.
And his feet.
And his feet, right? So if I could tell what color your feet is, I can tell what color the race. I can tell what race you are by looking at your feet, right? So he looked at Christ's feet and he said what?
Like unto fine brass.
He like they were unto fine brass. What color is brass? Brown, right? So he looked at Christ's feet, he said his feet was brown. A lot of people stop right there and say, see, he was Middle Eastern, right? But the Bible gonna give you more detail. Go ahead.
As if they burned in a furnace.
He said his feet was like brass as if it burned in a furnace. Now if I take that brass and I burn it in a furnace, what color is it gonna turn? Was that? Black, dark black, right? So Jesus Christ was what color? If his feet was that color, what color was the rest of his body? Black, right? So Jesus Christ is a black man. Let's see how he sounded.
And his voice is a sound of many waters.
So Christ wasn't no soft-speaking black man. Christ was a black man with woolly hair, red eyes, and he spoke with a deep voice. He spoke loud, like a waterfall. Like if you picture Niagara Falls, is that a quiet place? No, that's how Christ talked. And why? Because you got to remember, Christ taught thousands of people from a boat, from the shore. So he's on the shore of a sea with the water raging, and he taught 5,000 people standing on top of a boat. Can you talk how they portray him on movies and everybody gonna hear him? No, Christ talked loud, and that's how he commands us as black men to speak. We shouldn't be timid about our book. This is our book. It don't belong to everybody. When the white man holds our book, it has nothing to do with him. When other races hold our book, that's our book, right? But we got to get in our book and understand what our book is trying to tell us. Like we were saying earlier, you in the condition that you're in because you don't listen to Pop. So Pop is punishing us. You know what I'm saying? How do you stop the punishment? You start listening. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we try to teach our people.
Right, and like he was saying about Christ, that's the thing is, like, that's another part of it, that a lot of things that the core of our destruction is Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Because what does Christianity produce? You know what I'm saying? Christianity, when you go to church, a lot of these pastors, a lot of them is soft, effeminate. You know what I'm saying? That's what they breed in the Christian church is a docile black man. You know what I'm saying? That he just soft-spoken. Anytime you talk to him like I'm talking, oh, why you yelling at me, brother? I'm not yelling at you. I'm just talking like a man. You see what I'm saying? Because what? Jesus Christ, when you worship that white image, that's the spirit that came with it. Get 1 Corinthians 11. 2 Corinthians 11. Watch this. I'm going to show you the spirit that came with that white Jesus. 2 Corinthians 11 and 4.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 4. For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus.
Because somebody came and took us into slavery and taught us another Jesus. You know what I'm saying? They didn't teach us about the black Messiah in this book. You know what I'm saying? They didn't teach us that God was a man of war. They didn't teach us that we was warriors. When you read about the history of our people like Peter, when they came to take Christ and take him to the cross, Peter drew his sword and cut the centurion ear off. Think about how cold you got to be with a sword if you just reach up and you cut somebody's ear off and nothing else. You gotta be awesome. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what we being taught. We being taught this old lovey-dovey, mealy-mouth Christianity, white man Jesus. But listen what he says. Watch this. Read it again.
For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached.
Because they didn't preach about no white man named Jesus. Read.
Or if you receive another
And
spirit.
that's the reason why, because you're going to receive another spirit. You're not going to have the spirit of an Israelite, a prince of Judah. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have that. Read.
Which ye have not received. Or another gospel.
Another gospel. What came with that white Jesus? Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day. All of that stuff came with that white man. You know what I'm saying? That stuff ain't in this Bible. But I'll show you Easter in just a sec. Watch this, read on.
Which ye have not accepted.
And listen, the Apostle Paul said we ain't accepted that. Read.
Ye might well bear with him.
You might well bear with him and contend with him about that. You know what I'm saying? Don't just accept that. No, we're not accepting that no more. We don't woke up to who we are. We actually read and study this Bible. You know what I'm saying? So watch this. This is Easter. Get it right quick.
13.
Acts, yeah. I'm going to show y'all Easter because it is in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of pastors, I hear them say it all the time. Well, Easter is in the Bible. Yes, it is. But watch this. Read. Verse 1.
Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that
12 and 1.
12 and 1.
Read that one too. Watch this.
Acts 13 and 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon, that was called Nigger.
That was called nigger. You know what I'm saying? The word nigger is in the Bible. And what does the word nigger mean? Does anybody know? It means black. So that lets you know that the apostles was what color? They was black men. You know what I'm saying? But see, these are all the deceptions that we've been taught. Now go to Easter.
Acts 12 and 1. Now about that time, Herod, the king, stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church. And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews.
Because we wicked, our people have always been wicked. We the ones killed Christ. You know what I'm saying? Read.
He proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread.
And now see, this what the Jews was keeping, the days of unleavened bread, which is the Passover, which we just got finished keeping Passover a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? But now let's see what the Romans was keeping. Read on.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to four quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth
and
to the people.
Romans were celebrating Easter. So that shows you that that's not our custom. You know what I'm saying? What was happening to our people on Easter? They was killing us. We didn't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we out here trying to get our people to see, is that everything that we've been taught has been a lie. You know what I'm saying? We are the Israelites. We are God's chosen people. And we got to come back to our covenant.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word